Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Scary Stories We Tell. I am one of your hosts, Chris Stashio, and I am joined by my good friend. You have heard him here many times now, plenty of times, but not plenty enough. Your friend and mine, the host of The Haunting Season. You can find him on TikTok right now. It would be weird if all of a sudden I just start playing one of your TikTok videos, having you speak before I let you actually talk. You're just not going to say anything.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry.
Whoa. That is not what Josh Bragg sounds like.
Everybody,
but
so glad to be here.
Your friend and mine, Joshua Sterling Bragg.
Recently shrunken by a shrink ray.
Hey, there goes Elvis. That's what I imagine. Your head just starts shrinking down because you had the witch doctor put the powder on.
Yeah. Hey, wait a second.
Nice fucking model. How you doing, Josh? It's been a minute. Last time we saw one another, we were dressed up in costumes.
Yeah, we were. I'm surprised you got that thing off.
Oh, it's just an illusion.
It's just a Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Anti-Teletubby suit filter.
That was a lot of fun. That could have been mass chaos with that many people, and it just flowed. I loved it. That was so much fun. And I talked about the candy to like all of my friends afterwards, but I couldn't remember the details. So it was like one of those stupid stories, where you're like, oh yeah, on this show we did like the top 10 worst candies. Oh yeah, what are they? Well, candy corn and packing peanuts. And I can't remember the rest.
Peanuts. What's really funny is I have gone to places that sell candy, which is a weird way of saying Five Below and Dollar Tree.
Stores.
Where do they sell candy, sir? I have gone to several places now that sell candy, and I have seen those goddamn circus peanuts. And all
Really?
I think of is, I can't wait to send Josh a bag of these for Christmas.
No. When I see them or think about them, my immediate thought is, I can't believe these are banana flavored. That was the most shocking part of that whole episode.
Well, and the best part is they have all kinds of flavors. So now that I know you don't like the banana flavored ones, I'll make sure to get you ones that aren't banana flavored.
I don't even know if I'm not a fan of the banana flavor. I just don't understand why an orange peanut would taste yellow and banana-y.
I don't know. They're awful.
But we already covered this, Chris.
That's true.
We've already talked about this topic. Don't be boring. I'm the one who brought it up.
Double dip the chip. You can't double dip it. It's
on
funny
a very
though,
special 2-part episode of
we're back with the candy conversation. When I saw them though in IRL, I grabbed the bag and they were rock hard. like you could have taken them and thrown them and broken a window. They
take a tooth out with those.
They've been sitting there for a while, like candy nobody actually likes.
Yeah. If you ever need to remove a filling
or a tooth or just chip your fucking tooth, just right out of your mouth.
Yikes.
Like, they're not great.
Sadistic bastards.
So Josh, how have you been? What's going? Let's ask an easier question. What's been going on over at the haunting season now that spooky season's over? But spooky season never ends for the haunting season. That's right.
Well, I'll preface all of this with I'm doing great, but I've gotten pretty burnout, and my goal this year was to not get burnout in holiday season, and I didn't really even realize why I was feeling that way until I didn't even realize I was feeling this way until I was sitting in bed Saturday morning, and I turned to my wife, Courtney, and I said, completely out of the blue for her, but I had been thinking about it for a while. And I was like, I totally understand why people give up on their dreams. And she was like, whoa, I don't like this. And like turned off the TV, closed her phone, and was like, well, let's talk about it. And I was like, well, that's not like a cry for help or anything. It was just like, I get it. Like I'm turning 37 tomorrow, actually, as we record this. And I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, so I've done TikTok for 2 years. I'm getting close to 400,000 followers, which is great, but I've posted every single day. And what that means for me is every single night I'm working on TikToks for hours after my 40-hour plus a week job. When we're in production, it's more like 80. And and then I go home and I'm editing and I'm producing and I'm writing and I'm recording and all this stuff, and I'm sourcing stuff off the internet to cut into my videos and make them more interesting. And I'm exhausted, and I push extra hard during the holiday season, and I didn't realize, like, someone put it really well. I don't remember who it was on TikTok, but like posted a video and was like, I don't know why I push myself so hard as a content creator for horror stuff during the holiday season, because I'm realizing that everyone's talking about it. So the whole holiday season is so super saturated that my content actually isn't doing well. And so, like, a month ago, my views and everything were like doing really well, and there's like lots of traction and lots of conversations happening. And all of October, it was like bottom level interaction, and like only a few people were seeing what I was doing. And I was like pouring so much energy into it because I'm like, this is the season, when in reality I should be taking a vacation in October because everyone else got it covered.
Okay, next year let's do that.
Seriously. I think that's a great idea.
Do it.
Take October off.
I'm going to be coming to LA anyways. Let's just do it. Let's make a pact between the two of us and just not do it. Let's just take a break for a month. Because you know what we don't do? We don't take breaks, man.
Well, I am now.
Right. I have been forced to now.
Well, because I talked to my wife, and like any good husband, I went and got a second opinion. And no.
Wow.
No, I talked to my wife.
Your wife seemed lovely when I met her. I don't think you need a second opinion.
No. She always knows best. But I happened to be going over to my friend Nick's house afterwards. And when I hang out with him, it's sort of like when you and I record, we just kind of like follow the flow of whatever's happening. And so I got over there and I was like, hey, I had this, weird thought this morning that I understand why people give up their dreams, because at 37 years old, like, I don't want to be a TikToker. That's not my end goal.
Right.
But that is what's keeping me from accomplishing anything else creative, because it takes up so much creative space.
Right.
And I don't want to lose that audience because I've built something really special, and because I want to source those people to help me take the next big step in like creating a film or even a short film or even just anything at all. Like, I have now all these people that care, and it would be nice for them to be included in what I do next. And so we talked about it, and he said a lot of the same things as my wife, and they both were like, hey, why don't just like starting now, you kind of start easing back a little bit. And I've done that all this week. And I even have removed myself from screens when I get home from work, because most of when I'm in the office, most of what I'm doing is in post-production. And so I literally have 3 screens in front of me right now. I've got a laptop, a desktop, and a secondary monitor.
Likewise, my friend.
I've got my phone and my iPad right here. And so this whole week I've gone home when my wife is working and just put on a record and made dinner for myself, and then like maybe organized my closet or like hung out with my dogs and just completely untapped from the internet. And it has felt so good.
It's important to do, man. That's why I have a lot of hobbies that do not require me. I could have a screen on in the background, but having a screen on is just for the noise. Like, I love doing hand embroidery, which requires no TV. I love playing board games, which requires, like yourself, I'm someone who likes a lot of things, but plenty of them are screen based. I love doing this. I love playing video games with my friends. I can't keep in touch with a lot of people if I'm not in front of a screen, yourself included, or just friends of mine from high school who I still keep in touch with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my wife lives here. My best friend lives here. And then my other best friend, who's not my wife, lives here. So that's the joke. But being with them doesn't necessitate being in front of a TV either. So I get it. But it's hard because it's just like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just you can't escape it.
Yeah, it's hard. So I spent a week in Palm Springs last week with my cousins because they were already going on vacation there, and they were like, hey, if we get a 3-bedroom, will you come and hang out with us? So it was me, my cousins, and their kid who's 3, and my wife, and we had a pool, and we barely turned on the TV. Like if my cousin and I were talking about like a music video from the 90s, we'd be like, oh, throw it up on YouTube, that sort of thing. But for the most part, we like hung out in the pool, and then we did some thrifting, and my cousin found a Stranger Things puzzle, like a 1,000-piece puzzle. And we did that for like 3 nights in a row. And it was it activated my brain in a way that I didn't know I really needed. And so after they left, my wife and I bought a 1,000-piece like Beatles album cover puzzle that we're going to do over the holidays.
Nice. I too fell down the puzzle hole last year. Don't go
puzzle season.
Don't go too far. You may never turn back.
It's changing my username.
The puzzle season. The puzzling season. I'm with you. I think that obviously, as two people who create content and create massive amounts of content. I mean, I don't create content. It's close to every day. Essentially, it's not there is no algorithm on Spreaker, but there is an algorithm on TikTok, obviously. So it's a different expectation for what the content creator is being asked to do. But I will sit here and think to myself, I have not gotten an episode posted today. And the only person in the world who is really keeping track of that is the same person that's keeping track of you posting things on TikTok. You could go dark tomorrow on TikTok and never post another video. And what is anybody going to do about it?
Do about it? Nothing. But I'll tell you where a lot of my guilt comes from.
Oh, no.
Because I started Haunting Season in 2013 on YouTube. I did it for 2 years. Right. Every Friday released an 18 to 20 minute video that was way harder than putting out a 1 minute video every day. Of course, yeah. Because I was telling a full story that I wrote from scratch. And I ghosted all of YouTube for 7 years. And when I came back to kind of see if I could reactivate that audience and capture anybody, there were hundreds of messages from people being like, are you alive? Can you just let us know if you're alive? Like, what happened to you? Where did you go? And I felt so guilty. I was like, I will never do that again. So I would never just leave the internet and never post again unless I died, in which case I'd come back as a ghost and be like, yes, I did die. Thanks for asking.
But you know what I mean?
So many comments to respond to as a ghost.
But you know what I mean? It's more or less
the consequence. There are no consequences. There are no
consequences is more kind of what I was driving at. But I think for me, I look at that as a massive plus because it's kind of freeing in a way. I don't have the kind of job where I'm nailed down to one thing constantly and I'm going to disappoint somebody. The only person I'm going to disappoint, I genuinely believe, is myself. If I disappoint my audience, I'm going to disappoint my audience. I might disappoint them by not releasing the episode on a Tuesday as opposed to a Wednesday.
Or you might disappoint them by not asking a question they thought of in their head.
Right. So, I'm not that I'm saying I don't listen to the audience or care about the audience or any of that. It's more just reassessing and realigning of my own mental expectations, and then conversely the expectations and my interpretation of the expectations of my audience. Because like you said, if I saw those messages, I would feel the same way. I would feel terrible. But at the same time, there are other content creators. You are allowed to live your life however you see fit.
That's the part I have a hard time with. And I'm not even joking all that much.
I give you permission to live your life how you want, dude. You need to see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. I don't need to give you permission. You need to give yourself that permission.
No, that's exactly what it is. And that's what I struggle with, because I came up as a freelancer in New York and I was scrambling for every dollar I could find,
right,
and just saying yes to everything. And I allowed that to creep into my full-time, not just creep into, to cascade into my full-time job, because I continued doing the same thing. It just was with a company and like a startup, and the startup mentality is go, say yes to everything. And now the company is at a point where I'm able to scale back and just do one job instead of 50, which feels really good. But that mentality that I've been driving at for 15 plus years now feeds into my hobby, which is TikTok, and then I'm like, well, if I'm not building something, what am I doing? And if you're building something, you're in sprint mode, and that's not always true. I feel like I need to get into maintenance mode and be comfortable in maintenance mode, where I'm like, I'll put out a video when it feels good to put out a video. There are people with like millions of followers on TikTok that put out a video once a month, and I follow them and I see every video they put out and I get excited about it. But I'm like, well, if I don't post every day, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
It's that sick mental place.
Well, again, to your point, that is, it's part of this profession that we have, that it's, again, like we've kind of already talked about, it's really hard to kind of balance the two, because you are your own boss. I am my own boss.
Yeah.
For the content creation, I mean, you have a job, you have a day job. I this is my full-time gig. So I really only report to me, and then the people that I collaborate with, or the audience. I guess I report to the audience, but I don't view it that way. Right. But giving oneself permission to be okay with scaling back, I think is, I get it. It's hard, because I'm the same way. I mean, dude, you know how many podcasts I do. This is one of a lot. One of two weekly and countless monthly podcasts, and soon to be, after the first of the year, a bi-weekly podcast. So 2 weekly and a bi-weekly podcast every day or every week, 52 times a year. That doesn't even sound like much, but it is so much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's not even as much as what you're doing.
Content that you have to curate, and you have to record, and you have to, do post-production on, and distribution on, and research
and everything else. But then you're making daily content, and I can't even fucking fathom that, dude. I can't. There are people that I work with that can't fathom doing a weekly show.
Yeah.
I can't. And I understand where they're coming from, that they can't fathom that. I cannot fathom doing anything daily like what you do, because
it's asinine, because it's
unrealistic expectations to a degree that I cannot be okay with.
Well, it was during the pandemic in which I started, which is one thing that builds in extra time, because I'm not commuting, because I don't know what else to do with myself, because you can't go to restaurants, you can't, blah, blah, blah. So it spawned from that, which allowed me extra time. And I also had extra resources at different points in this, where I like maybe had someone editing for me for a little while, or for a little while, I tried out someone like writing like spec scripts for me to do back when I was trying to do like folklore stuff. And then I would punch them up before recording. None of that was like long term, but that helped me kind of like bridge the gaps when things got hard. And I'm also a content like creator for work. So I know how to batch things, and I know how to get ahead and get things in the can, so that I can, there are moments of sprinting and moments of like sitting back. But even that, because of the daily posting, has gotten to be too much. Yeah. And I think I'm just getting into a more mature phase. And it was cool to be in like a building period where like I got to 400,000 in under 2 years. That's an insane amount of people I never thought I'd ever reach. And I have to keep that in mind, because it's like, there's no need to get any further than I already did.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, I guess for me, the reason I've never done video content like TikTok is because the kind of personality that I have, it would be damn near impossible to drag me away from it. If I was at the level that you're at now, knocking on the door of 400,000, which is just, there are people that have millions on TikTok, but fucking 400,000, I can't even fathom that.
My goal when I started, I was like, I hope someday I can get to 10,000. Because I had heard that there were people who had relatively quick rises to 10,000, and then things sort of slowed down for them. And I was like, if only someday I could get there. And I'm at 400,000 now, and still in this mode mentally that I'm like actively working out of and doing a good job of, where I'm just like more, go, and it's like, I don't need a million. Like, what would I even do with 1 million people following me?
You would have more opportunities,
I guess, but like, I have a job.
You wouldn't have a job anymore, dude.
I would. I'm not leaving. This is my career. Like, I'm not leaving my job ever.
I know, but here's the thing: there are people in your position where if they got, like with Mike at Charm City Paranormal, if you get to a certain point, you have to make that decision. And let me level with you, bro. I just be real talk with you here. And I can edit this part out if you want me to. You're going to have to make a decision, it sounds like, at some point. And I think you know that. And I don't think it's going to be an easy decision for you to make. It's either scale back or stop or turn over to somebody else. Because if you don't want to continue the train building, because it is a career, the haunting season would be a career for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what it boils down to for me is haunting season to me isn't the TikTok. The TikTok is a small part of what haunting season is in my heart and soul.
Right.
So yeah. So like if we're talking about haunting
that's
season,
the forward facing part of it is the problem.
Right now. And what I want to do is shift that to larger scale media.
Right.
Like films.
But I don't think TikTok could ever disappear is my point.
Right. That would have to keep going. But at that point, and I think the next move, like what Mike is talking about now, I just had him on my show. So there. All
right.
Actually, like 2 days ago. And he was talking about like the idea of like bringing on extra people, you know, and bring on people to edit or not edit, but to do rushes for him and to do like assistant editing work so that when he's getting to his computer, there's work already done and he can do the good part, the part that needs him, as opposed to all of it, which does not need him. I don't need to be hitting post and writing out hashtags.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, we had this conversation before we started recording.
Yeah, we did.
We as content creators, if you are, I'm not even gonna say lucky enough, because there is luck here, but
successful enough.
The luck is created by working fucking hard every fucking day. Like that's the thing I would tell anybody who wants to make content for a living and you want to actually do this and you want to put your best foot forward to be successful. You might not be successful. You may never reach the level of success that you want, because it's not about what someone else's level is. It's about what you want. You may never be able to reach that, and that's okay. But every single day, wake up and do it. And if you can hack it for a year, you can hack it for 2, you can hack it for 3, you can hack it for 4, you can hack it as a job if you manage to have that success. But that success is not really luck-based. The luck exists because you've worked hard, and those opportunities can present themselves. But once you put that out into the world, I'm not telling you anything you already know, but more to the audience. Once you put it out into the world, you no longer control it. You no longer have, all you have claim over is the fact that you're part of it, but you can't control how it's received, where it goes, who sees it. But that is the thing about this that is so rewarding. I don't have the community that you have, and it's never been something that I have cared about, but yet I'm pissed at myself because I should have.
But that opportunity isn't gone. It's not like you're 90 years old.
I know, but I've been doing this for 8 years, and I have put about 1% of my effort into building a community and 99% of my effort into creating the content for people to listen to. Because
you can't do both.
No.
And that's where my crossroads is at the moment, is I am in need of writing a film, but I can't do both. And so I have to scale back from that drive that, I'm never going to stop being the type of person who wakes up every day at 5:30 in the morning and gets to work and is excited to get to work immediately. And even on days off, I'll be like, yeah, but I could squeeze in some hours before Courtney wakes up, and then we go do our fun things and I have the day off.
Yep.
There's always stuff to squeeze in. I'm never going to stop being that person, but I need to stop being that person on solely TikTok alone as the only thing that I'm pouring that energy into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the expectations for you as a TikTok creator are in a parlance that we can all agree with, absolute utter fucking bullshit for a number of reasons. Lack of transparency on the platform. The expectations of content creators to, quote, be successful is not healthy for anyone. I don't care who you are. Doing that every day at the level that you're doing is not a healthy expectation, especially when you don't know how they're making any of the decisions, how the information is being pushed to people. You're just fumbling in the dark. You're hitting baseballs out into the outfield and hoping somebody catches them or doesn't catch them, however you want to interpret it. But it is toxic. TikTok is toxic for the users if you're into toxic content on TikTok, but I would contend TikTok is toxic for the creators because the expectation for the creators is detrimental to your lifestyle unless you have a team of people supporting you who can help you at every turn, and all you have to do is turn the camera on, turn the camera off, and everything else is done for you. Then you can go do whatever the hell you want. And like you said, I don't need to be there for that. I don't need to do any of that. But yet, if you don't have that, like you have been, like I have been, I have had to do everything for the last almost decade. Like, it's hard to if you work a job where you have people that you work with or work for you, that's easy for you. It's easier for you to take solace in that unknowingly, because it's subconsciously you have people that you can rely on. But when you do something like this and you're the only one involved or one of the few people involved, that in and of itself is stress and strain, because I never feel like I'm doing enough, even though I know I am trying to figure out ways to actively find time during the day like you do.
And this isn't just unique to content creation, to podcast creation. I mean, look at that Kevin Hart documentary that he put out about himself a little while ago. I forget when it was. I think it was pre-pandemic, but Kevin Hart is a stand-up comedian. He is an actor. He is in movies. And the only reason he has the popularity that he has is because he put in the hard work and worked every single day and got to the point where he now has an entourage, and he literally has a company of people working for him so that he can continue to be a successful actor and comedian. It's not so that they can build out some kind of like crazy merchandising, like Steve-O's selling sunglasses and water bottles with his name on it and probably his ass on it as well.
Hey guys, me Steve-O.
Hey, wow. My teeth come out. I
adopted a dog in Peru.
I have a huge jackass hole shape in my heart, or however that phrase goes.
So are you saying you aren't a fan of Jackass?
I love Jackass.
Me too.
It has just a sour pit in my stomach.
Oh, I have no shame. I have no shame in my appreciation of Jackass.
No, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of how it makes me feel.
Why? Oh, that's fair.
Because I feel sick. I feel excited. I feel guilty. I feel anyway. And the point I'm trying to make is that even people on Kevin Hart's level who are wildly successful have figured out a way to have a team around them so that they can continue what they do. And that's like the next step in the evolution. So get you some interns, everybody.
Get you some interns, pal.
That's what I mean. Everybody should get some interns.
Well, and
treat them right.
Well, Jesus Christ. Well, and that for me is also the other thing here that I do think about frequently is, like yourself, I feel like I am on the cusp here of, I don't know. I have no idea any more than you do. Like I pretend like I know what I want to be the next step. I think you like to believe but neither one of us can know a year from now whether or not those things come to fruition, whether or not they go the way we plan, whether those things. And I mean, again, when you get emails out of the blue from people or when opportunities just land in your lap, you could not have foreseen that if you tried. But that is what this job field allows. Is if I'm working a job down at, I don't know, your local whatever business park business where you're in a cubicle, opportunities aren't coming your way because your opportunities are contained within your job unless you go and look for another job. But we don't know what opportunities we're going to get doing what we do. But we also may not get anything. That's the problem.
Or if you say no, are you ever going to get that opportunity again?
Right.
That's the scary thing. We're like Josh Brolin in episode 1 of Open Range or Outer Range.
Yes.
I just started watching it last night. It is the slower, slightly more sci-fi version of Yellowstone and less dramatic.
And less Kevin Costner, which is all I really care about.
You don't like Kevin Costner?
No.
Oh.
Is that weird?
Yeah, why?
I'm not a fan of his acting.
Oh.
Everything I've seen him in has been You ever seen The Postman? You ever seen Waterworld? I've never seen Field of Dreams.
See, that's where
I know, but I know the kid. Oh, you know what? Dances with Wolves beat my favorite movie for an Oscar, and that's the only time I'm actually angry about the Oscars. Goodfellas is still the better movie. I don't care what anybody says, and I think time has willed that out. I don't think anybody cares about Dances with Wolves anymore.
No, I actually just watched it for the first time last year, and I was like, I have a heart for like really long movies because I hate when.
Are you talking about Dances with Wolves or Goodfellas? Because they're both really long movies.
Yeah, both. No, but Dances with Wolves I saw for the first time last year. And my favorite part is there's the moment where he gets married and they're like, I now pronounce you husband and wife. And he just turns to everyone and goes, bye. And like, that's like it.
I don't remember it at all. I saw it in high school. They showed it to us in Texas history.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they got some things wrong in that movie, even though it is pretty well done.
I like that. I think they got some things wrong.
I think they might have maybe gotten some things wrong, but I'm not an authority on it. So
Costner cast.
But yeah, I started
Costner all the time.
I'm a big fan of Yellowstone because it fits in that like that part of my viewing experience balance beam that's soap opera. You know, like I feel like you got to have like a soap opera show. So like Sons of Anarchy for me felt like a soap opera.
I've heard Yellowstone compared to The Sopranos.
It is, but
like
it is
like On the Range Sopranos.
On the Range Sopranos, but also like On the Range Grey's Anatomy in some ways. It has but in like a good way, because I've seen every episode of Grey's Anatomy except for this most recent season.
What are they on season 19 now?
Yeah, and I think it's Ellen Pompeo's last season, and it's a really big deal.
Yeah. Talk about, hey, she made a decision. She's like, you just keep making the show. Like, I don't know.
She did a whole season where they used a mannequin for her instead of her. Yeah, they put her in a coma for an entire season, and they shot like obviously one day on a beach that was like her coma dream. And then she took the season off, and they built they built her and put her in a bed, and they had a mechanical breathing mechanism. So it looked like she was still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, and the moment you notice, you can't unsee it. It's amazing.
It's like that mechanical Hagrid head in Harry Potter. You ever seen that?
No.
Oh no, I don't want to ruin Harry Potter for you more than JK already has.
Yeah.
So in Harry Potter, I believe at least the earlier films before CGI got better, but I believe they probably still used it later because, again, for some like close-up shots. One of the more obvious shots in the first movie when Hagrid comes through the door in the lighthouse where the Dursleys and Harry are staying on his birthday, and you see him, he kind of ducks down through the doorway. The actor Robbie Coltrane, who just recently passed away, bigger guy, but not fucking 7 feet tall or whatever Hagrid was. So he's in lift shoes, right? But for a lot of the shots where it's far away shots, they needed an actual large actor so that they can show the height disparity between the children actors and Hagrid to make him look bigger. So they had a tall actor in a mechanical Hagrid head.
Cool.
No. Now Harry Potter will be ruined for you because anytime you watch the early movies, all you'll be able to see is when they're using mechanical Hagrid head and when they're using just Robbie Coltrane, the actor. And it's awful because the mechanical Hagrid head is not good.
Well, I mean, a lot of technology has advanced past the early Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
And
the Hagrid head is actually on display at some Warner Brothers archive. It's like on a stick.
Oh, that's cool.
Hagrid's head on a stick.
Oh man, that's cool. I love it. I love stuff like that, like old school. Like I've done a tour of like a couple of the Hollywood studios around here. I don't remember which one is responsible for Lord of the Rings.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Yeah. So on the Warner Brothers lot, there's like an area where they show you the camera trick that they use to make Gandalf larger by having him in the background, but then having the table built in like a weird way and having the mugs a certain way. And so they sit you in front of the camera on a green screen. And so like I have a video of me and my mom like sharing a beer, but I'm twice as tall as she is.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's that same thing. Like, it
doesn't ruin it for me. It just makes it feel more like Hollywood magic.
I actually was going to say, we were talking about when I mentioned Harry Potter, like it's just like in Lord of the Rings. Like I can't help but notice every time it's not Elijah Wood. It's one of the small actors who's playing a hobbit. It's like, that is just, and you know what it is, right? That's one of those smaller actors with an Elijah Wood mask on.
But as a horror fan who like loves seeing the blurred edges between shitty practical effects and magical moments in movies. Like, for example, having a child dressed as Chucky with a rubber head on, like running around, is very different from when you get to the close up and you see, you know, the mechanical Chucky. All that stuff just makes me giggle in just the best way. It's part of the reason why I love movies, is because you can be like, oh, it's obviously fake, but I'm still engaged in the story.
Wait, movies aren't real?
No.
Has nobody told you, Chris?
Has nobody told you? No, but things are like getting to the point where, I don't know. I feel like District 9 was the first time I really saw it, where I saw a CGI character that I had an emotional connection to. And then I was like, whoa, we were getting somewhere. And that was years ago. Like, where we are with Stranger Things now. I mean, I guess Vecna, you can still kind of see like the rubber suit and everything.
I thought a lot of that was done in camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of Stranger Things.
What was that? Is that real? No. Oh man, I thought you were going to be like, well, it's that drag show that, you know.
I don't know. Every time someone says Stranger Things and I say Stranger Things, I never have a follow-up to what that is. So I should probably figure out what it is so that next time someone says it, be like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. It's everybody's just drag show where
I thought it's just everybody's real sassy.
Yeah.
All gender swapped Stranger Things.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh no, Vecna's coming, and then they whip pan over to 11, and 11's like, oh no, Vecna's coming.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
God.
That should be your TikTok.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things with Chris Aja.
It's like when people ask, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? I'm more of a fan of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, that's completely different.
Boy, isn't it? What's Buffalo Wild Wings? Not somewhere we're going tonight for dinner. Had our fill.
Well, we can go, but we're not going to eat.
And if we do eat, I was going to say we're not going to be swallowing, but I don't know what other people are up to. So I don't want to make a determination on other people.
No, I just meant for like sanitary reasons. Like, you probably don't want to eat where you wang, you know?
Eat where you wang. Eat and wang, or you wanging where you eat.
Yeah.
See, I will tell you though, you know, he's like, can we pivot back to the serious stuff for a second?
Yeah, no, go for it. I won't laugh at you.
I will say though, you know, getting to talk to you, because I think we have talked once in the past previously about being burned out. I don't remember when it was, but one of the times we've done one of these, you and I were both like having a similar conversation.
Yeah.
But it was within the last year and a half. So I want to say it was the beginning of this year. Does that sound right? Were you burned out at the beginning of this year? Can
Probably.
anyone remember?
I mean, I get seasonal depression. So typically when the time changes, I don't realize it, but I start to get kind of bummed out. And then by the time I hit February or March is usually when I start feeling the effects of seasonal depression. I feel like I can't get off the couch, or like I don't want to do anything productive. And that kind of has been moving up because of the pandemic, because there's been less things to do. But I've been combating it by going to therapy and by doing things for myself. Like, we bought all these little candles, like battery powered candles, and they turn on automatically at a certain point at night. And everything becomes a little bit magical and a little bit warmer. And I built out it's way too hot in California, even in the wintertime, to have a fire. So we have this fireplace, this gas powered fireplace that we never turn on. So I put like sparkly lights in there on like, you can turn it on with your phone. So like first thing in the morning when I wake up and it's still dark outside, I turn on the fireplace and it looks like there's a fire, and it's like, oh yeah,
wow,
cabin.
Hey, just come visit. It's 22 degrees outside. We'll have a fire for warmth.
I think it's getting down into the 40s now, which the only way that really matters is when I ride my bike to work first thing in the morning and it's like 40 degrees, and then you get that like sweaty cold, you know.
I like that though.
Yeah. I like it. The only thing is my lungs. I feel like I have a little bit of like cold air asthma. You know, I only feel it when it's cold and I'm trying to work out.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, dude,
that might just be being human, but
you're right. I spent this year, I feel like, taking better care of myself.
That's great.
I think so.
I did the opposite.
No, you haven't.
Oh, yeah. The year before, I was really taking care of myself. I was doing yoga every day. I was like the exercise bike. Now all I do is binge eat, and I've occasionally ride my bike to work, and I've been trying to be better about it. You shocked by this? All I do is make TikToks. When do I have time to take care of myself?
You need to find time, buddy, because that's
that's what I'm working on. That's what this episode is about.
Josh is working on it.
No, I am. I'm riding my bike more. I'm eating more healthy. I'm making better decisions, and I'm scaling back on the, fill every waking moment of life with creating content.
Are you making better decisions as in like not buying cryptocurrency? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Deleting your Twitter account. You're just responding to the times.
Killing stray dogs.
The whole SPCA, they need help, but not the way you think.
No, making better decisions in the past couple weeks of scaling back and taking time to listen to a record and not have to have that be part of a 5-part evening where I'm like trying to create content, listen to a record, watch a TV show, find new clothes. I'm just literally just sitting and eating my dinner and listening to a record and being like, it's okay. It's okay to be calm.
Before that internet, man, what did they do for fun? Interact with each other?
The radio.
Come on down, our show's on. The Life of Riley.
Yeah, listen to what was it? Prairie Home Companion.
Yeah, with Garrison Keillor, Lake Wobegon.
Lake Wobegon.
That's what we should do. That's our show. We should bring that kind of shit back, but for millennials. There's nothing like that. Is there? I guess is that what Mr. Beast is? I'm just kidding. Mr. Beast.
Slapped Ham is the new
Mr. Beast is the new Prairie Home Companion. Boy, that would probably make him and his army of children fans very angry.
Yeah.
How do you have that many fans and they're not all kids? That's my question. Like, how are there that many people that are a fan of someone and I know nobody who is? How is that possible?
I don't know.
I'm asking a genuine question here. How are that many? Okay, he has 100 million subs on YouTube.
Yeah.
How do I not know a single person who actively talks about his videos or says anything like? Did he pay? Is this like his big gag? He paid 100 million people to sub to his channel.
Maybe
that's the final long con gag.
I'll do you one better. How many people do you know who go to a movie just because Jared Leto is in it?
No one. And yet he keeps getting cast in these movies and people are blowing up the box office.
Who are those people?
Dude, I don't know. Is it
Morbius is getting a second movie?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's Morbin time.
No, okay, you're lying or you're fucking with me. If this is real, I'm gonna lose my actual mind.
If it's not real, it's not gonna affect me at all.
Yeah, if it's not real, we're both better off for it.
Morbius.
No. Yeah, because of all those people renting it after the fact.
Okay, this is unrelated, but there's something called Morbius remorbed.
Morbin time.
It's Morbin time. Okay, let's look up Jared. I can't believe I'm
Jared, I can't believe I'm Googling him. Leto. Is that how it should be introduced now? It's like, I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't even spell his name right. There he is. Fucker in that bow tie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, always.
Right, let's see. All filmography, and then it should say upcoming projects. 7. He has 7 upcoming projects. Tron 3, Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be in the Haunted Mansion movie.
Dude, Warhol?
Yeah, he's playing Andy Warhol. It's going to be really weird when he sends all of his co-stars condoms full of cum as Andy Warhol.
You know what sucks, too? Speaking of...
Speaking of condoms full of cum.
Yeah, you know what sucks too is when I watched that WeWork show, We Crashed.
Sure.
Because I had seen the documentary and I was like, oh, I really want to see this. He was phenomenal in that. He was probably the perfect casting for that. But he's not why I watched it. And who I guess that's the problem, right? Is that he can pull it off.
Well, that's my question, man. It's like, who's watching Jared Leto movies? Who's watching Mr. Beast content? Like, really? I've never seen a single Mr. Beast video ever. but yet 100 million people watch his stuff to the point where he beat PewDiePie. And I knew people that watch PewDiePie. That was not a question. I knew people that watch PewDiePie, but I don't know a single person that watches Mr. Beast content. I think it's all like 10-year-old children.
You're gonna have people knocking at your door, Chris.
And then I'll be like, I'm glad to meet you. What do you like about this content? Just tell me. I'm not dragging his content. Who is it for? Is my question.
Yeah. And where are they? Where are they hiding?
They're all held at a camp somewhere, and all they do is watch Mr. Beast movies all day.
Are they all wearing white robes? Are they? That sounded sorry, not hooded robes. I just meant like a cult, not like the Confederacy.
Where are they? Not there, I hope.
Yeah.
God. So as we bring this episode to a close, Josh, I have a question for you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do until the next time I talk to you to be better to yourself?
Well, let me tell you, I'm gonna be doing a puzzle. I would like to seriously I feel like in 3 acts, because I did go to theater school. Act 1 is literally just the act of scaling back and taking time to be with myself and to befriend myself again, I think, and not treat myself as an employee of myself. Like I want to be friends with myself, not an employee of myself. And then act 2 is to apply that to the TikTok concept and be like, what's the healthiest version for me on TikTok? Because I don't want to not be on TikTok. I have so many friends that have made because of TikTok. You're one of them. And that is so valuable to me. And there are people I consider friends on TikTok that I haven't even had the joy of seeing their face or knowing what they look like. They're just regular, communicators on there. So, act 2 is what's the healthy version of TikTok for me. And act 3 is to get back to being creative in driving myself towards whatever that next form of haunting season is that will bring more joy to more people on a larger scale and also give me a new exciting frontier to venture into. Dang, that sounded good.
Yeah, I believe
you should ask me questions more often.
What did you have for lunch?
A shitty ham sandwich with Miracle Whip. Thanks for asking.
Oh,
I'm a Miracle Whip person. I don't know why.
I was just ham. Like, why?
Actually, I think it was turkey, but I do prefer ham. I've always been a ham sandwich kind of guy. Actually, that's not true. I became a ham sandwich kind of guy at my grandfather's funeral because I had never had mustard before. And I was like, today I'm trying mustard. And I put mustard on a ham and cheddar cheese sandwich and was like, this is it. I've found bliss. Heaven on earth is
How
ham
old
sandwich,
were you when you tried
cheese,
mustard?
In my 20s.
What?
26.
How did you not eat a hot dog until then?
Not with mustard.
Oh,
I know.
No. Oh, no.
I know.
You put ketchup on your hot dogs?
Yeah. All ketchup, no bun, baby. No, that's sick. That's disgusting.
You're sick, Josh Bragg.
I got to lube them up somehow.
Okay.
Otherwise, how do they go down whole? Not chewing a hot dog. They're disgusting.
Yeah, it's throat shaped already.
Yeah. It's perfectly designed to go through your intestines without digesting.
Block your windpipe if it's
on the other side. This has been a strange episode, Chris.
But you know what? but you know what?
On Rooting Way Media,
we talk about swallowing hot dogs whole.
Yeah. These are the true horrors, the true scary stories we tell are about our digestive tract.
We'll call this show it's like the art of racing in the rain, the art of swallowing hot dogs whole.
The unbearable weight of bunless hot dogs.
Can you imagine going to Costco and being like, I want to get one of those hot dog combos, and then when they hand it to you, just go, and then when they hand you the hot dog, taking the hot dog out, just walking off with the hot dog in your hand and the soda, and just leaving the foil with the bun on the counter? Would you get arrested?
When you're not on the show, where can people find you?
At Costco, eating hot dogs without bun. It's keto, baby, all the time. God,
just wiggling back and forth.
And then but here would be even better. How strange of looks would you get if you were walking around Costco with the hot dog in your hand? Because those are big hot dogs. Those are 1/4 pound dinner franks, as they call them.
They're pretty average.
Oh man, Oh, well. Josh Bragg bringing the fucking heat tonight.
Oh, it's vacation mode, I guess. I don't know.
Where can people find you, Josh?
Haunting season. Go find it.
Go look.
Yeah, mostly on TikTok. There's a podcast. There's I'm around.
Yeah, I think it's the TikTok, right? More or less.
Yeah, more or less the TikTok. You want to do that again? You want to take it back?
Yeah. So Josh, where can people find you when you're not here?
The Haunting Season on TikTok, and I'm taking a little bit of a backseat on it, but I'm still putting out content regularly, and I love talking to people. So come on over and comment away.
I comment from time to time.
You do, and I see it, and I'm like, "Hey, Chris,"
and then I go
what are you doing on here?
And then I go and check it like 3 weeks later, and it's like Josh responded, and now I'm the one not responding. Oh, I'm sorry.
What about you, Chris? Where can people find your work?
weirdingwaymedia.com. That's the podcast network that a friend of mine and I created. And that's where you can find this show. And I would say 19 plus shows, but it's 20 plus shows and even more at this point, probably by the time this episode airs. So true crime, movies, TV, everything in between. If you can't find it on Weirding Way Media, you probably shouldn't be listening to it. As for this show, Scary Stories We Tell, Scary Stories WT on all social media. And yeah, big thanks always to Maggie Diod and Dustin Rutledge for the album artwork for the show, and to our good friend Alex Malnick of Blondo for the music. You can find him on Spotify. Just search Blondo. Josh, thank you for joining me as always.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you. I was going to say we'll catch you on the next episode, but that's not how I end this show. And we'll let our good friend, the former host of Sightings, Mr. Tim White, lead us out.
No mystery is closed to an open mind.